وقل رب زدني علما.
Obviously, we're cousins because we have the Abrahamic thing going for us.
I also want to talk Israel Palestine.
Huh?
Religion's boring.
We're
okay with La ilaha illallah Musa Rasulullah. We're okay with that.
We're okay with Musa as well. We can agree on that. We can agree.
Yes.
One God and Musa was a good.
Musa Rasulullah.
Are you an attention seeker? Attention seeker. We're all Muslim. No. Some of us.
We all submit to God. Yeah, we're all Muslim.
No. I said I've read enough about Islam for me to say that I don't want to take the Shahada. So I've read the Quran. Why? Because one of the biggest points in Judaism is that we believe in national revelation. So we believe that when Musa alayhi salam, when he received his prophecy, which is the Torah, that was revealed to the entire nation. So our entire nation stood at Sinai. So we believe that it's collectively, in our collective memory, we have the memory of prophecy. So it wasn't just on one person, it was on the entire nation. The entire nation experienced prophecy at Mount Sinai. This is a Jewish belief. In Islam,
wasn't the Jews a chosen people?
So that's what the Quran says.
So who you don't agree with that?
So
are they not chosen by God?
So what we believe is we were chosen to spread monotheism. Now, granted, the Muslims have done a better job than the Jews, arguably, of spreading monotheism. There's far more Muslims in the world than there are Jews, but you can convert to Judaism, which is what I was telling you before. But that's where I'm chain of thought. What was it? Do we believe we're the chosen people? So the Torah says we were chosen to spread monotheism. That's it. That's all. It doesn't mean we're chosen above other nations. We're not superior. We believe B'Tselem Elokim. Everybody is made in the same image in Judaism, whether you're Jewish or non-Jewish. The afterworld in Judaism is what I was saying before. It's called Olam Haba. Or Jannah, it's our equivalent of Jannah, and anyone who does righteous deeds in this world has the potential to go there. It's not like Christianity where you need to believe in Jesus to go to heaven, or in Islam where you need to accept the instruction of Muhammad and take the Shahada to go to Jannah. In Judaism, you do good deeds, you have the opportunity to go to Jannah.
If you do good deeds and you reject Moses, then
yeah, absolutely.
You can go to Jannah.
Yeah, in Judaism.
If you reject Moses as a prophet.
In Judaism, so it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not like Islam. I've really got a big crowd in. I really actually wanted to talk about Israel and Palestine. So then anyone wants to ask any Israeli questions?
That's been done to that.
And this hasn't.
No, seriously. If you don't believe in Moses as a Jew, are you saying that the salvation is still?
So in Judaism, the prophecy of of Moses was for the Jewish nation. Yeah? Jews believed that other prophets were sent to other nations, but for the Jews we had the prophecy of Moses, and that was the commandments which we were then obliged to follow. Now, if someone else doesn't follow that prophecy, it makes no difference to them.
Not someone else. I'm talking about the Jews.
The Jews. Oh, so Jews. So again, in Judaism we have a very similar concept to Islam, where only Allah knows. For
example, in Islam, if you reject the prophethood of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then your salvation is not. It's at stake, basically.
If someone is born Jewish, they have what we call a chiyuv, an obligation to follow the law, mitzvot, which Moses communicated, and then further commandments, or not commandments, sorry, they're not commandments, further decrees were enacted by the rabbis, which were also instructed to follow.
So which implies it's mandatory for you to believe in Moses as a
Jew.
Because obviously if you're going to believe in the scripture, then you'll have to believe in the prophet.
There's two separate things. There's what is a Jew obligated to do under Judaism, someone who's either converted to the faith or someone who was born of a Jewish mother. So there's what they're obligated to do, and then there's what the rest of the world is obligated to do. So if you are living in India and you've either been exposed to the Torah or you haven't been exposed to the Torah, but you spend your entire life doing good deeds. It seems a very bizarre religion that would say that that person, a very bizarre God in my mind, that would say that that person is destined to the hellfire because they didn't follow a prophet who was sent to a particular tribe 3,000 years ago in the Middle East. There's no connection between those people. It seems a very cruel God that would then cast those people into the hellfire. You can have people who've spent their entire life saving orphans, helping the homeless, doing incredible good deeds. It seems like a callous God that would then cast them into the hellfire. So that was all I was saying. In Judaism, we don't have that difficulty because we believe people that do good deeds get whatever reward is away from us.
Somebody who doesn't believe in God and does good deeds, what would be their salvation? What would they be?
It's not salvation. This is such Christian language. Salvation.
What's the Jewish word for that?
So we don't. Again, Judaism is a different.
Do you believe
religion.
in hell and heaven? By the way?
We do, in Judaism, the concept of hellfire is. So the afterlife in general isn't discussed much in Judaism. Judaism focuses on what we call olam hazeh, which is this world. All the commandments instruct you how to do good in this world. So giving charity helps people in this world, not some future world to come. So most of the Jewish scripture, like hell and heaven, aren't mentioned in the 5 books of Moses.
So you don't believe in the concept of afterlife?
So in Judaism there is a concept of afterlife, but it's not what we do. Because we don't dwell on it. We don't know a lot about it. The focus of the Jewish faith is to better this world. It's to improve this world. It's to help your neighbor. It's to love your neighbor. It's not to save your soul. Think about it. Think logically. If the purpose of this world is just to be a complete slave of God, Abdullah, and to be a slave to Hashim, and just follow a perfect instruction, it seems a very almost shallow world. In contrast, if your purpose of this world is to enrich this world, to build it up, to make it better, to become a partner in the creation, to give charity, to help the homeless, to master our dominion, to create technology, to advance the sciences, that seems a much greater purpose.
Obviously, doing the good things are to be done on this earth.
So
you're not going to go in heaven and start doing the charity.
So I'm saying the focus.
You're going to do it on earth. That's all I do.
But what I'm trying to say is
I'm
trying to say the focus of Judaism is that.
I'm talking about Judaism. Moses,
that's what I'm saying.
When he thought about doing good things and all, obviously he gave you some sort of indication about what good you'll achieve in your afterlife, because it seems somehow you don't believe in the reward in the afterlife.
No, we do. So as I said before,
and the punishment.
I said before, there's olam haba. But again, if your motivation to do good in this world is out of love for the Creator, that's very different than out of fear and selfish reward. If your only motivation in this world is to save your soul, that's quite inward and selfish. So I'm just saying.
It's not that shallow, trust me.
Okay,
when people do good things, obviously they want to please God, and I don't think that is shallow. It is not for fear of God. It is basically to please God, and the fear bit comes in when you start sinning, and that is what you need to separate. The sinning part is where you fear God. That if you're going to commit this sin, you're going to be punished. But when you're doing a good thing, that is to please God. It's not for the fear of God. You got the two things mixed up: the fear and the pleasing of God.
So in Judaism, in Islam.
Joseph, I just want to ask you a question with regards to if you do good
I need to go and give this guy a present, which is
fair enough.
Because it's a Jewish holiday today.
What is the concept of afterlife in Judaism? That's all I want to know, based on the scripture.
So it's everything we have on the world to come is largely from the Talmud. The Old Testament and the prophets don't touch on it.
You mean the oral tradition?
So the Talmud is more than the oral tradition. It is the oral tradition. It's also the legal system. It's also lots of opinions of different rabbis giving advice. So there's a whole lot contained within the Talmud. The Torah, we believe, is the book that was Moses' prophecy.
Does the Torah have a concept of afterlife?
It does not dwell on the afterlife, no.
Not about dwelling. Does it have anything at all?
To my knowledge, there is no direct mention of olam haba or olam hazeh in the 5 books of Moses. There are allusions to it from the prophets. There is. But yeah, in the actual 5 books of Moses, to my knowledge, and I'm not a scholar, there's no mention of olam haba.
That's quite interesting, actually.
Whereas contrast that to the Quran,
it's like literally faith, I thought it was quite similar in terms of hell and heaven. Are there different sects of Judaism which believe in the heaven and the heaven concept?
So all Jews believe in. I mean, I can't say all Jews. There are Jews that are atheists, but
I'm sure there are different sects within Judaism.
So in the third, we have basically a rabbi called Maimonides, the Rambam.
Yes. Maimonides.
He codified the 13 principles of faith. One of them is to believe in the world that comes. So you can't be a traditionally practicing Jew and not believe in olam haba. But the difference between Islam and Judaism is, while the world to come is the focus of Islam. It's only a part of Judaism, and the true focus of the Torah is how to make this world a better place. All the commandments are how do you make this place better. And what monotheism is wrapped into that, because it's what you were touching on before. If you recognize there's a creator, if you recognize that this world didn't come into existence out of nothing, and you're not an atheist, but you actually believe in a creator, then understanding the morality and the purpose behind existence will help you to be a better person. It shows you better gratitude. It shows the framework of existence.
I mean, when I read Genesis, I mean, I see a concept of heaven over there. I'm surprised that you said that there wasn't one.
So it depends what. So
for example, when Adam, he ate of the apple,
in Gan Eden,
whatever fruit it was of that tree. Where was this tree? Was it on earth?
So Gan Eden is understood by almost the overwhelming majority of Jews. Now, as I said, Judaism.
I talk about Eden.
Gan Eden is
Eden, yes?
the Garden of Eden. Yeah.
So the Garden of Eden, according to you, is in heaven.
According to almost all Jews, is here. There are some small groups of Jews that would hold differently.
And where do you think is God? Is God on earth or is somewhere else?
So in Judaism, God is separate from His creation.
Of course He is, but where is He?
Well, if He's separate from the creation, He's.
Where is He?
He's separate from the creation.
I know that, but where is He?
I don't know. You tell me where God is.
No, I'm asking based on your religion.
So all we say is in Judaism we're very diligent, not to, or we're very careful not to place attributes, not to apply human or finite.
I'm not asking
terms.
you to commit any blasphemy. I'm just asking, based on your scripture, where is God?
So I'm saying a place is something finite, it's something tangible. If I was to say I'm from the northeast of England and I named a village, that's a place that other people can visit. When you ask me which place is God in, it's an illogical question. If you believe the Creator is infinite,
so is He without place, basically? Is He beyond time and space?
So again, these are questions I don't have the answer to. I'm sorry.
Actually, because it seems like you somehow
no.
clear
So
about it.
what I'm saying is Jews are very
there's a lot of mention between.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Jews are very careful as to what they say about God. So we can't even say that. We
don't want to blaspheme against God,
okay.
and neither do you. And I don't want you to blaspheme against. It's just if you don't know, say I don't know, because I say I don't know many times if I don't know certain things. But when we read the Old Testament, I mean, I see a lot of reference to heaven.
Okay, I recommend reading it in Hebrew. Read it in Hebrew.
I don't know Hebrew, so
no.
I have to learn that first.
But what you can do is where you see the word heaven or hell in the 5 books of Moses.
Okay.
Look at what the word is in Hebrew, and you can get that translation really easily online. And then just use.
How do you say heaven and hell in Hebrew?
Olam haba, the world to come, and Olam hazeh, this world. So if you then look for those words, they don't appear anywhere in the Old Testament.
So in terms of when you say the afterlife, what do you understand by this? Say for example, a person who lives for 60, 70, 80 years, and he dies, he goes to his grave. What happens then, as far as your religion or your faith is concerned?
As I told you before, in Judaism we believe in the concept of an afterlife. We believe.
What is that? Explain that.
Well, I'm saying it dwells very little on that.
So are you saying you don't know?
So I can quote lines from the Mishnah.
Yeah,
which
but translate it for me because I don't Hebrew.
No. So
go on.
It's, for instance, it's described as actually because it will misrepresent what we. If I were to quote, there's quotes which equate a particular holiday we have every week to being a small part of what heaven, the Olam Haba would be. It's saying it's.
I mean, give
the
me
closest we
a
get,
summary. I don't want the whole.
But what I was going to say is, but in Judaism, it's what I said before. We don't focus on Olam Haba. No. So I'm going to say I don't. Again, to do with what I know and what I don't know. No, it's not.
So you don't know, that's fine.
I'm telling you what Judaism says. Judaism does not dwell on that. So most Jews have very little information about what Olam Haba is. So we believe in the eternity of the soul, which is something which is in Islam.
You believe in the eternity of
the soul, the neshama.
Okay, so obviously you don't believe in reincarnation.
No.
Okay.
Oh no, wait. Let me preface. I don't. And what I would consider to be the most authentic. So we have rabbis that lived in Babylon, who were great scholars, and they basically the codifiers of the Talmud. The rabbis that came after them were called the Geonim. One of the greatest of those rabbis was Sadia Gaon. Sadia Gaon wrote an entire book called, it doesn't matter what it's called, and in that he writes that reincarnation is not a Jewish concept. It's outside of our faith. However, today, born largely out of the Kabbalistic and Hasidic movements, there are many Jews that do believe in reincarnation. So I personally don't, because I subscribe to what I believe to be more authentic.
But they're not mainstream, are they?
No, so again, a lot of mainstream Orthodox Jews believe in reincarnation. However, some of our greatest, I'm also Orthodox.
So when you say
they believe
reincarnation, you mean like the way the Hindus believe it? Or
So-
like maybe the Sikhs believe it?
Yeah, so that you
So
come
for
back
example,
as
your soul
something.
comes into another body.
So some will believe
Of
it
an animal or a human being.
Some will believe it comes into a body. Some will believe it comes into an animal. I personally don't believe in reincarnation. I believe that's the most authentic Jewish position. The oldest sources we have discussing reincarnation say it's outside of our faith. However, a religion that's been around for thousands of years, it's going to have great variety. I think one of the big distinctions between Islam and Judaism is how we handle those differences. In Judaism, if a Jew believes in reincarnation and another Jew doesn't, we still recognise each other as being part of the same faith. We don't stream takfiri and religious wars because some person particularly follows this descendant of Muhammad, another person follows this Sahab. So we have a very different approach to the differences within our faith. Jews, for instance, aren't slaughtering each other around the world because of religious differences. So while reincarnation, why I consider reincarnation...
Well, they were busy slaughtering the Canaanites, but that's a different story.
you
You see what I mean?
the Malachites.
No, I'm talking about today. I'm talking about today. I'm talking about today.
And Jews are like some sort of saints. They're not. Anyway, let's not go into that. I'm talking about the afterlife. I don't know how we got into that. It seems like you don't know what happens after.
So most Jews.
That's what it is.
So what Judaism teaches is to focus on this world.
That's fine. Look, in Islam, I'll tell you what.
Let me finish.
In Islam also, we focus on this earth, and then the result is in the afterlife.
Most Muslims.
We don't just focus. Oh, we are doing this good thing because we're going to be punished by Allah.
So let me finish. The focus of most Muslims today is the concept of reward and punishment and the afterlife, the world to come. That's why when jihadists blow themselves up,
there you go. Why do you do this? This is so sad. Why do you do this, bro? I'm asking you about the afterlife.
He's asking about your afterlife. Simple.
It's important. No, you're right.
I really touched the raw nerve there, didn't I? That's like a ripple. The Mexican way. Whoa.
It's not like propaganda.
Sorry. Just a minute. I came here for a brief conversation. There's now 30 people around me. You asked me a question. I responded my way, and you all start booing me and say that you don't like the way I'm responding. If you don't like the way I respond, don't ask me the question.
Joseph, you're talking only to one person. So, I mean,
I'm not talking to one person. There's an entire crowd
how is
here.
anyone else talking to you? But that's important. Look, I just want to know, based on your faith, what happens to you after you die. That's what I want to know.
I was trying to answer in my words.
Okay, fair enough. Go on.
And I got a boo. So I'll answer in my words, but if you don't like my answer, you're more than welcome to walk away. There's no one's forcing to be here.
No problem.
So in
I'll say your
Islam, the focus of this world is the world to come. And this is why we're having difficulty with this conversation. This is why I'm bringing it as a... no, you're having difficulty with my answer. My answer isn't satisfying you, which is why you keep on probing and asking about the world to come.
No, because you keep saying that I don't know. You're implying I don't know what happens to me after life. And then you come back to focusing on this earth. Every time I ask you what happens to you after life, you come back to this life.
So let me finish.
I'm asking from your faith. What happens to you after life? That's
You
all I
said
want.
within Islam, the focus is this world, yeah?
No, I didn't say that.
You said it's a big part.
I said based on what happens, what you do on this earth, your afterlife will be determined based on that. But ultimately, it is the mercy, it is the rahmah of Allah that you go to Jannah, and that is what's important.
Perfect.
But you see,
That's my
every time
point.
I ask you about your faith, you come and talk about Islam. Tell me what you believe in.
But it's a two-way conversation. With the greatest respect, I'm not here just to answer your question.
You can ask me about Islam, no problem. Look, I'll tell you, if you ask me about Islam,
So
what happens
I've
to me
answered
after
the
life,
question.
I'll answer that,
I've
no
answered the
problem.
question several times, and you haven't liked the answer.
You said I don't know.
No, I said the focus of Judaism is on this world, is in this world. All of the commandments are focused on this world. The world to come plays a tiny part in the Jewish faith, so much so it isn't mentioned in the 5 books of Moses. It is a motivation, it is something that is there in the back of our mind, but our primary motivation is to do good in this world. And this is why I brought in Islam. If you flip that, the purpose of Islam is not this world. The purpose is exactly what you just said. The purpose of doing good deeds in this world is so that you can get your word before, Christian word, your salvation in the
I have
afterlife.
no problem with that.
And so-
But when you keep saying that the focus is the afterlife, both of them are important. What you do in this life is going to determine your afterlife. So it's very important what you do in this life. So that's the reason I'm
But
telling you,
that's
what
my-
you're saying is not very different to what we believe in. Because when you say the focus in this life is what is your priority, it is also the Muslim priority.
Exactly.
Because what happens here is going to determine the afterlife. So if you're not going to be focused on what you're doing here, then what is the point of you you wanting some sort of a reward in the afterlife? So this is very important.
There's a lot of similarities.
And that's the reason one of the main pillars of Islam is zakat, which is in this life. One of the main pillars is salah, which is in this life. One of the main pillars is to fast, which is also in this life. All this focus is where? In this life. So for you to say that it is not this life is a misrepresentation of Islam, unfortunately.
Okay, fine. I apologise that I've misrepresented Islam. What I'm trying to do is, you will never get a Jew, or you very, very rarely. I mean, it's such an alien concept of Judaism that, to my knowledge, it's never happened, that would commit a suicide attack, which many Muslims do around the world.
Why bringing that up? Seriously, why bringing that up?
Show me suicide.
Why is it so uncomfortable? I'm sorry.
Even if it was, I'll tell you what, suicide is something that Islam prohibits, and Christianity prohibits, and Judaism prohibits. Okay? How many people do you know? Wait. How many people do you know who committed suicide before? Many. I know you want to. Joseph, I know you love the topic of Israel and Palestine. I know you want to go into that. I know, but look, we are not talking about that now.
But with the greatest
if you
respect,
want to talk with that,
that's why I came here. With the greatest respect, this crowd
just say
has
you don't want
formed
to
around
talk
me.
about this. Simple as that. If I'm holding you against your will, then say so.
You're not holding me against my will. I'm trying to
But the
reply
topic
and
we're
answer the
discussing
question.
right now
But when I
is not
answer,
Israel and
when I
Palestine.
sorry, suicide bombing has nothing to do with Israel and Palestine.
Insinuating something else. You're actually saying something else.
Alright, anyway, Joseph, if you feel uncomfortable talking about this topic, we'll stop. Okay?
Exactly. This is.
I'll tell you what, let's talk if you feel uncomfortable about it.
I'm happy to talk if I can talk in my language. What I don't want to be done is being bullied into talking in a specific way. If I want to speak about suicide bombing to make a point,
welcome, but I'm not interested in that.
Okay, fine. Then maybe we don't have the conversation. If you're not interested in the way,
you're not interested. Like the way I
Why
did.
give them publicity?
You see, like the way I did. For you to say you're feeling bullied, I don't know who's bullying you here. What is this victim mentality? I don't know.
Okay, victim mentality.
Yeah, because you're saying you're feeling bullied. Who's bullying you here?
This is
you're on your own. I'm not bullying you, honestly.
Okay, so what I'm saying again, I communicate something, and then there's boos, and then there's.
We're not booing.
No one booed.
You booed 2 minutes ago. You literally booed. You went, oh.
That's a question. We're questioning why you go
That's
to
a reaction you get.
They were shocked.
So
Shocking.
you've been here many years, man. You should know the reaction you get here.
Okay, first and foremost, if you're asking me a question, I set the track. You don't set the direction I want to walk.
You talk about the Judaism today.
Okay, but with the greatest respect, I'm allowed to speak about Judaism and Islam as I wish to. Exactly. And if you don't like it, speak to another Jew. If you don't like the way I speak about it, go find another Jew to talk to.
That's fine.
Not many of them.
He can only give you what he knows.
You wonder why? You wonder why?
No one is stopping you.
Okay, Joseph, listen. It feels like you're uncomfortable, so I think we should stop.
Alright, cool.
Okay, but it's really nice talking to you.
Oh, it is. You're one of the more moderate ones here.
Take care, mate.
Like,
All right.
Becky.
Shalom.
You have a right to your opinion. You know when it comes to